Welcome back to Monarch, where we celebrate authors who bring beauty, heart, and hope to children's literature. I'm your host, Dr. Jen Lowry, and I'm honored to introduce a guest whose storytelling springs from a deep love of nature and animals and inspires children everywhere. All right, Madeline Simon, you are here with us today from a native from New York who has spent decades surrounded by the beauty of living things. Her company, founded in 1979, designed, installed, and maintained vibrant plant displays for over 700 corporate clients each week. After retiring in 2006, she turned her attention to watercolor, oil painting, and her lifelong love of storytelling. She once told 3 bedtime stories a night to her daughter, and now she's sharing those stories with the world. So you can find her work at madelynsimon.com, but right now, full attention because today we're talking about Poppy's Sweet Sibling Story, about monarch butterflies just a little bit, but more importantly, about the confidence in children and the gentle power of words that can help kids shine whatever their gifts may be. So, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much.
I am so happy to have you with us on the show. Tell us a little bit more about you. I loved your bio, but I always want to know, is there any other little thing you would like us to know?
Well, I always felt like I was bringing beauty and nature to an otherwise concrete jungle of Manhattan. And I think that people, their lives were a little bit enhanced by having nature in front of them or as they passed it on their way to work or home. I think that we did a wonderful thing for people by adding plants to their lives. And I think that the children, I mean, the every story that I've written has a message, a life message, a social conscious message for the children to learn. And I think this Poppy's sweet sibling story is amazing because so many people shy away from what they think they're not going to be good at and they don't give it a try. So in the book, Poppy says to Susie, the little sister, well, how do you know what you like if you don't try it? You can't quit and fail before you try something. Besides the fact that practice almost makes everyone better. So I think that the book inspires courage and bravery and trying new things. And I think that's true for adults as well. I've had many friends that say, "Oh, I can't draw. I can't paint. I can't do this. I can't do that." And they don't have you tried it? No. I think gravitate to things that we think we're going to be good at and shy away from things we don't. And I think that short changes our lives a bit if we don't simply try things and be open.
And I love that it's not a two can't, it's a toucan.
I love it. Isn't that fun? Is
It's
that
fun.
fun?
Like, so when I read Poppy Sweet Sibling Story, it's like warmth, it's wisdom, it's
Yeah,
humor, but it is a safe space for children to explore that shy moment, that self-doubt, that comparison that often
absolutely.
children may go through. Like, you have a lot of different angles that families would be able to help guide their reader through this. So this would be perfect for schools, families, homeschool whoever loves literature out there, guys. There's so many access points here, but it's so colorful and fun. Like, the illustrations just pop.
And they're funny. I mean, the elephants dancing and a turtle dancing. It's cute. It's,
The rock star posters at the end, like that. I was like, "Oh, I know where that band is." Um, so
and I
talk to
love
me.
her hit song
Yes,
is the title is I Can Do.
I can do. It's just and that brought it full circle though, right? It just brought it full circle. That's a full circle book in my opinion.
I
Tell
think so too.
how did you feel when you first started, like, exploring illustrations? Because you also paint as well.
It's true.
So you decided to go out and find your own illustrator. Can you talk to me a little bit about that process and how it felt to see Poppy's world come alive?
Well, I painted the first book, and I kind of felt pressured, like I had to be hurried, I had to be faster, I had to be better. And I realized that I wanted the books to have not only a charming sense about them, I wanted them to be beautiful and professional looking. So I went to my painting teacher.
Nice.
And it's worked out. It's wonderful. And I think
Beautiful.
every book he illustrates, it's better and better. And they're cute, they're funny, they're warm. So the community of animals, they support each other, and they get to know each other, and they work through various obstacles. And I think that the friendships, and the wisdom is really an important thing for children to see, that they can depend on others. And Poppy is the wise best friend material, but
Right.
she turns to her best friend Margie the elephant for advice.
Oh, I love it. Love it. So this is number 7 for you.
Yes, yes.
Oh, wow. How does it feel to have all of that on your collection so far? I mean, you are an avid storyteller. If you would tell your daughter 3 stories a night, I'm like, that's a lot to come up with on the spot.
But
But
you
I
know
know
what?
the
We
7
have
in the series.
we had the same, it's similar to the series in that we had the same characters, but the characters went through different things in life. So she lost her dad at a young age, and she had issues to deal with. So what we did is, through the stories, we dealt with issues in a fun, sweet, funny way. And so I took from her what she was going through and put them into the stories. And I think that we both loved it. Our storytelling was a wonderful part of our day. So when I started to write stories, I wanted to write stories that had meaning, that had some integral importance, that children could learn from and integrate into their own lives. So it's been a joy. It's been a real joy to do this.
But it's also a part of healing too, right?
You bet. You bet.
Mhm.
And it's insightful. Like the story before this was Poppy says it's okay, you're okay, and it's about these macaw parrots that repeat everything they hear, and it becomes really funny because they say hello, and the macaws say hello, and Poppy says, "Are you teasing me? I mean, are you making fun of me?" But they're not. They're being who they
Themselves.
are. And it's so interesting because these animals are so smart. Macaws generally have the IQ of like a 3-year-old, which is something. I mean, it's a lot.
Mhm.
So it's a all the stories have a lot of fun and a lot of joy and a lot of meaning. So
So in this one particularly, you've got a pair of siblings. They have very different personalities.
yes,
When I think of Susie, I just see her as timid and shy at the very beginning of the story, just filled with, like I said earlier, that self doubt, the comparison. And even there is one point in the story that I found so poignant where Poppy is like, why do toucans? Now, I'm not going to memorize it or say it
right,
exactly like what you
right,
said, but in your words, and I know you'll know the part I'm talking about, but it's like, why
right.
do toucans always have to compare themselves and like
Exactly.
try to be better than this? Like, why can't they just be? Um,
Exactly.
and so we've got this tender message there, and we've got these 2 siblings, but the siblings, they don't have a rivalry with one another at all. So it's not
No,
like they're pitted against each other. This is a sweet, tender story, right? That's why when you say sweet sibling, that's truly what it is because Sloppy, to give spoiler alerts for all of our families, does show up at the end to support his sister in a
yeah,
very kind way, and kind of goes on the road, right? So
he
I won't
became a
give it all
backup
away.
singer. He became a backup singer.
Yep. I didn't want to give it all away. I'll let
Good,
you do the
good, good,
spoiler alerts. That one comes from you. But
good.
when I think about that, using storytelling as a tool, like to help children understand that comparison can be destructive. Comparison can make you stop and freeze in your tracks instead of discovering your own path or
It's
even trying.
I think that it's negative as opposed to conducive to happiness and learning. I mean, this book is about gaining confidence and trying something with breaking out of your shell and being brave and courageous to try something new. And the brother has his own issues. I mean, he wants to sing like a rock star in the beginning. And everybody was smiling and laughing. It's all about positive. So I think that if there's confrontation, then one has to figure out what that's about. But I think I'm going to show you the picture, the cover, the Sweet Sibling Story is it's loving, and it's support. And I think that for us to have confidence and try new things, we have to be supported, surrounded by support and positiveness. And I think that makes us feel courageous to experiment. So I think parents, if they wish to promote that bravery, they can be with the child experimenting, and then if there's obstacles, see if you could work through it. But I think by being supportive of your child, and let's say there's something that the child loves or enjoys, then you could repeat the experience to for the child to gain experience and the child to gain skills. And I think we don't know what we're good at unless we try things.
And there's a line in there, and we hear that old saying, practice makes perfect. And
Yes,
you broke that mold in this book. I really like that line that you kind of weaved in there.
yes.
So thank you for that. And when families see that, they'll say, yes, practice can make us better.
Almost
um,
always.
and I also, there's something else that I wanted to bring up too. I think when you talked about support, this is what came to mind.
Sure.
So, when I said there's different access points to your book, maybe a reader might not identify with Susie. They may identify with Poppy, and they may be the problem solver. And they may say, in that support role, like that best friend role, how can I help my friend come out of their shell? Or how
Yes.
can I help my friend find their voice? And I loved Poppy's stance on this. Poppy was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to sing. It's not gonna be the best, I'm gonna warn you, but I'm gonna do this thing, and I'm gonna have fun doing it, right? So,
Exactly.
y'all, I'm totally paraphrasing this, you gotta get the book, it's precious, it truly is, but I was like, "Okay, Poppy, you go right at this," and then when the animals started to kinda laugh a little bit, it was okay, and everybody was having fun, and then here we go with Susie shining. And it's
Exactly.
just it's a beautiful testament to, like you said, support, friendship, that gathering around someone to show them that they're not alone in what they're going through, and let's problem solve this together to get yourself unstuck.
And
Bec-
it's kind of normal to be frightened. Oh, they're going to laugh at me. Susie was said they're going to laugh at me, and Poppy swooshed that with her wings, and so that's not important. So I have a little story to tell. a little story that I experienced in third grade. So we were doing paintings in the back of the classroom, and I painted a pink horse and a red tree. And everybody laughed at me. Everyone was like snickering. And even the teacher was like laughing. And I felt terrible. But the paintings were drying on wooden easels in the back of the classroom. And the teacher went on to teach another subject. And the principal kind of wandered into the back of the room. And he said, at when there was an appropriate pause, who painted that painting? And my hand struggled to, do I have to admit it? Do I have? So he said, would you be so kind as to give me that painting for my office? Because I'd love to hang it up. And that was such an interesting thing because all the kids were oohing and ahhing. The teacher said, oh, I love that painting. It was all interesting because they went, 180 degrees, or maybe it's 360 degrees.
Maybe, yes.
But I learned a very important lesson that when you try to do something different, you're vulnerable to what the reactions are. But the reactions for me were so different that I learned to say, I can do what I want to do. I don't care what they think because they could change their minds. And that was a wonderful confidence building exercise.
And so you've lived a career
Yeah,
with the plant business, and
yes,
now you're planting seeds in children's literature. I need for you to tell me about, because I'm thinking about, again, it's almost the same kind of story again, where now you have your book series out in the world. How
yes,
have you been dealing with that? Like that painting on the back easel
yes.
and, everybody seeing that it's out there. Writing is a vulnerable place, and then sharing it with the world is also putting you in that vulnerable place. Like, how have you embraced this whole journey as an author?
It's really been a positive experience. It's a wonderful experience. I mean, it's children's books, 3 to 8 years old. The illustrations are fabulous. The message is fabulous. Amazon rates us as a really high number in social skills and manners. So I think we're getting to children in a positive way. And I love that. I love I love the stories. I love that you can laugh at that you laugh at every story. And it's warmth. You get to know these animals. They become personalities, and they're beautiful and intelligent. So it's been a wonderful experience.
So, what's next for Poppy the Toucan? I
I
have to ask.
have I have a new book that is about um, accepting differences. In other words, a new flock of birds comes to town and they like the same food as the toucans, and they're worried. So it's kind of a tribalism, but they learned to have compassion and accept differences. And that is a special thing. By accepting differences, everybody's okay. It's fine. They don't have to be angry, or negative. It's a special experience to do that. And so I think the new book is an important message as well.
So, you guys, right now, while that one's being developed, grab
Yes,
number 7 and 1 through 6. Let's just go ahead and get the collection for your bookshelf. But Poppy Sweet Sibling Story, absolutely love Poppy the Toucan series. I highly recommend it to all of my readers out there because it's just filled with that gentle wisdom. It is beautiful, and it just reminds us as we're reading that every child deserves to shine in their spotlight in
yes.
their way. Um, so you've had these stories in your heart for years. And now you are encouraging young readers everywhere. I'd love for you to share some words of wisdom for maybe my listeners out there who have a story in their heart too that they want to share. Maybe there's one that they're waiting to tell, but they don't have that confidence. It's hard to step into that space of bravery. What would you say to them?
I think that they just have to start. They have to get a pad or a computer, whatever they have to begin. And it doesn't have to be perfect at the first pass. It has to be developed. So you put down a story, and then you look at it, and then you revise it and you add to it or distract, detract. I think that the stories are a wonderful exercise in development. And it's so fun. It's such a fun and wonderful thing to do.
So the question is, when are we going to start, right? Out there that are listening. So when are
Exactly.
you going to start? So let
Exactly.
that question settle in your spirit today. And when you're ready, write it, speak it, share it with the world. And so until next time, keep believing in clean reads, bright minds, the stories that we have in our heart. I really want to thank you so much, Miss Madeline, for
Oh,
being
I
with us
want to thank
today.
you so much. You've been amazing. Thank you
And
so much.
I truly appreciate this time you taking out of such a busy schedule that you live and sharing your words of wisdom with everyone on the platform. So just thank you for Monarch and
Thank you.
everybody out there listening. Thanks for joining us. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
You too.